Alrighty, squad, how's everybody doing out there? What's going on? It is a very foggy, overcast day out here, but tyranny and oppression never stops, so neither do we. Today's journeys bring us out here to the Maryland State Troopers Barracks. This would be Barrack J, ultimately. And yeah, as always, we're out here to make sure they respect our rights to film in public and publicly accessible areas, and that's not infringed upon by anybody. That our government officials treat us with some respect and dignity, and don't act like a bunch of dickheads like they normally do. As always, we're not looking for any confrontation. I'm sure someone will sue because they always gotta stick their noses where it doesn't belong. But we're not looking for any confrontation. Yesterday, when I was in Calvert County at the environmental health building, I had the media mod set up on the camera again to try it out one last time. And while the microphone might work better, it drains the battery substantially, and ultimately the camera overheats and turns off with no warning. So I won't be using the media mod anymore. I think I'm just gonna have to move on from the GoPro eventually when I have some money to do so. But yeah, don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, and to hit that notification bell. Just broke 27,000 subs today. All the love and support is greatly appreciated, squad. Again, this is Maryland State Police Barracks J. You might recognize this as the home turf of the dickhead who knocked my grandma down at the NBA. That trash area looks a little bit more acceptable. It just says no peds. What does that mean? I guess past there? Yeah. No pedestrians through the gated area, I guess. It's 4DE3852. That one's different than your standard issue all black state trooper monogrammed vehicles. The biggest lie in the world. Maryland's finest. My asshole. Looks like they got some broken shit down there. I guess I can't zoom in here. I'll zoom in the editing. But yeah, I need to clean up that corner down there. So they got one of our friends from the DG. What's up, brother?
Senior Trip Matthew, what's going on?
What's going on, brother?
What you recording?
Huh?
What's up? What you recording?
Just anything I can see in public.
What's your press pass? Let me see what you got going on.
What's up?
I've got my thing on too.
Okay, cool.
So what's the deal? Tell me what your project is.
What project?
Just what you're going around for.
Oh, I didn't say I was working on a project. I just said I was taking pictures in public. That's all.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's your name?
My name?
I've asked that.
Yeah, I go by Good Citizen. Sometimes my friends call me John Cena.
And his name is John Cena!
Alright. Cool.
It's cool. There's like a little sound.
Okay.
I tell folks I don't know how they do it. I don't know how much money they pay, but whenever I say it, there's like an extra little thing that pops out and goes bow, 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 bow. The noise comes out of nowhere. I don't know how it happens, but they're good friends, brother.
Okay. So
Yeah,
what do you what are you trying to just record in general?
What do you mean?
I mean, you're walking around and recording. I'm just curious, what are you trying to capture?
Just anything in
is there any
public.
kind of point you're making, or
Anything in public I can see.
okay, that's your right, your
Yeah.
God-given rights.
Absolutely.
you can record and all that. The only thing is it's authorized people back here. It's not really, doesn't say no trespassing, but
Yeah.
it says authorized people, meaning state employees, police employees. So
Is it stated somewhere? It says that?
no, not clearly posted, which it should be,
Okay.
but it's not. But you
Okay.
know, and as you go around to different barracks and stuff like that. Have
Me?
you been to other police stations?
Oh, not that I know of. I don't
Yeah.
always like to answer too many personal questions.
Okay, I was just curious because because it's back here, we store evidence. We store cars that have been in fatal collisions. Some, you know, like here you see it's gated. It's not closed. We should have enclosed areas for things like that, but we don't.
Yeah, like
here.
that side's closed out. That's pretty good over there.
Yeah, that side is, but
I got you.
So I was just curious, are you just going around to all the different public properties or what?
Yeah, I just take pictures out in public. That's all, brother.
All right. Mind if I hang out with you while you do it?
I do mind, yes.
Okay.
Yep.
You're free to walk around and record.
I know.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'm gonna hang out here, and I actually gotta go do some stuff inside, but
Yeah, do your thing, bro.
I just want to check on you and make sure
Cool.
you're not like trying to break in anything or anything.
No nefarious duties, brother. What was your name again? Matthew?
My name is Senior Trooper Matthews.
Senior Trooper Matthew.
ID number 5973.
Cool, brother. And you are?
I'm Corporal Anderson,
Corporal Anderson, badge number?
6354.
6354. All right, cool. Thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate you guys.
You good, brother?
Yep.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you.
No problem. Yeah, this looks like the DGS police over here. DGS Capital. Now, it does say no pedestrians, so I can't go past the area of this sign here, which would be, as he stated, into the parking lot or maybe through that area because of that. So, up to this point here, you are allowed. Cool. I did appreciate how the trash area is very clean over there. I had to get on Annapolis City one day for...
Squirrels keep it clean, man.
Yeah, I just seen them over there burying stuff. I was like, that's how you know the cold's coming. Now, do you guys know if a Trooper Goldman still is housed out here? Yes, he still works out here at this barracks?
Yes.
Cool. Cool.
Why?
I was just curious. I was just curious. Prisoner intake. Administrative staff. Together.
Oh,
We can
there's a
save
trespassing
lives.
sign. So,
Is there?
yes. That's it. See, that's what's new.
State,
We didn't used to have that.
state
See how
police
shiny?
vehicles
State police vehicles only be on this point, but no trespassing, Maryland State Police. So what that means for you legally is I can ask you you can stay in front of the building because it's not public back here as far as trespassing. And if you're asked to leave,
I don't think
it's
so.
no trespassing. It's clearly posted as the law requires.
Uh-huh. But now there's no gated area, so this would be open. You guys have to create the barrier of privacy.
Well, beyond this point, no trespassing, state police vehicles only. So any citizens back here, you can be considered trespassing.
But now I think you already gave me permission to freely walk around and record, didn't you?
No, and I can close it out.
I think you already gave me permission to do that, though, didn't you?
Well, you did, and now
think
I can ask you to leave and
No,
respectfully.
you can't be
give you the
you can't be an
opportunity.
Indian giver and just take back the permission you
Sure,
already
you can
gave.
on a
No.
private property.
It's not private. It's
No,
public.
no, no. Listen,
You gave
you
me
have
permission, sir.
So say you have property, right? Private property. As a private property owner,
Uh-huh.
you have somebody on your property,
Yeah.
and you invited them on the property.
This is your property?
I'm an agent of the state.
But it's your property. Because
It
now
is-
we're...
It is as an agent of the state.
Okay,
I
but on
am.
my property, I wouldn't be an agent of the state.
Well,
I would
trust
be the
me,
owner of the property.
yeah.
I wouldn't just be an authorized agent of the state.
Right.
You
so,
would be referencing if I owned property and had a business there and maybe had somebody else.
But you can revoke that
licensed.
if you have a no trespass and you don't want somebody on your property. If you, even after you invited them on and they did what they wanted, you can tell them to
I
leave,
think
and if they don't leave,
I think
they
that's
are
in the gated
trespassing.
area. I think you invited me and gave me property to freely walk around, sir. I think you
No.
gave me permission to freely walk around.
No, I just walked over here because this is new. We didn't used to have this,
Okay.
so that's why I was going off of. This is brand new, actually. So I was going off the fact that we didn't have it clearly posted, but now I see it's clearly posted. Now I can ask you to conclude your business, and you can stay in front.
You're not a state police vehicle, so what are you doing beyond that point?
That's a state police vehicle.
Yeah. So it means state police vehicles. This doesn't say like no people allowed. This means
trespassing-
vehicles. There's no vehicles besides state vehicles allowed beyond this point.
Trespassing.
That doesn't say anything about people.
Trespassing is a crime that refers to people.
Yeah.
And vehicles can trespass, but people trespass.
No, you're right. Yeah, people will be trespassing. So it would actually be Maryland 6-409 is the trespass statute that references on public property during business hours and things like that. Yeah, I'm well aware. But yeah, you guys don't have any fencing here or anything like that.
But it doesn't allow
like you do on the other side. You have
if you
fencing.
didn't have fencing on your private property, it doesn't mean I can come on your private property.
No, you're right. It's my
Just
private
'cause you didn't-
property, but this is
because you didn't
not
have
private property. This is
This
not
area-
your
because-
property, and it's not private
because
property,
of the
sir.
right, but because we have the sensitive
It's
nature of
open.
back here, we have evidence that can be back here. It's not.
What's that?
back
What are you
here
doing
right
here?
now. That's TFC Low.
What's that? What you doing here?
I work here.
Okay, I was just curious. You pulled in all cockeyed. I didn't know why you were obstructing the thing. Are you on an emergency call?
I am called here.
Oh, okay. For what?
For you.
For you? What did I do?
You're trespassing.
Oh, I was? No, I think I was given permission by this gentleman to freely record
We
over
already
there.
told you can stand in the front, but
Okay.
you can't go past here, because if you do, you're going to get locked up for trespassing.
Okay.
That's it.
All right, you stated it. You're good. You're dismissed.
No, I'm not going anywhere, buddy.
Okay, me either.
So look, like you
gave me
said,
permission,
beyond that point there,
Brother, you gave me permission.
right? And
You gave me permission.
and I've asked you now. You've concluded your business back
I'm
here.
not done. I'm not concluded.
Okay, well you
But you
can
gave me
stand.
permission to do it. You said
no.
you said that I was free to record.
You're
back
free to
here.
record back here, but
You
now
said back
that
here.
I see there's a sign,
You can't
I
just
can
rescind it now.
I can.
No, you
Why
gave me
can I not
permission.
rescind it?
You can't just take
When
back.
it's clearly posted as the law requires. Listen, I teach the Constitution. I like the Constitution because that's the supreme law of the land over any law.
Absolutely, you're right.
As long as that Constitution does not get violated with a law.
Mhm.
If a law violates the Constitution, what's it make that law?
Unconstitutional, sir.
Unconstitutional. Makes
Yeah.
it what else? And so what can you do with that law? You can ignore it as null and void, correct?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Correct. So,
Yeah.
but this
It
is
would-
a
it
no
would be the-
trespassing.
It would be the same thing that made your arrest
I know.
unconstitutional.
Correct.
It's the same thing that is going to make Trooper Goldman putting his hands on me and remove me from the building unconstitutional.
From what, MVA?
It's going to make the same thing unconstitutional.
Okay.
So if you study the Constitution, you are well aware of it.
And I can tell you, I probably would disagree with the way he handled that situation.
Okay.
But that's the way I would. If I were working that day, it was a whole COVID mask thing. Right.
Was it?
I think so. I don't know. I didn't see the whole video, but I just
don't.
heard about it.
I just said he put his hands on me. I didn't say anything about COVID and masks and anything like that. I just said he put his hands on me. That's all, brother.
So I was just trying to see what the...
But yeah, so like I said, you guys didn't have like a fence or anything,
I
and you
understand.
blatantly got out and gave me permission to record
I
back
did
here.
because at the time
So
I didn't know that
why is she here? If you had
Well, she
given me
came at somebody else's
permission,
request, not
why
mine.
did she pull up all cockeyed? You know what I mean? What's going on here? What's she
Because
doing here? You guys are acting as if I was breaking a law, but yet
No.
you gave me permission to be back
No,
here.
you
so
haven't.
why is she
And
even...
I'll explain like this. You haven't because...
Okay. All
You're
right, well,
back
then
here
you're dismissed.
without-
Thank you, though.
Yeah. You were...
Appreciate you.
She can stand here.
No, you're good. Appreciate you, though. I don't need the harassment. Thanks, though.
And I haven't said a word to you.
You have.
So
You come over here and talk to me the
I
whole
can be
time.
here just as much as you can.
You have said words to me.
Well,
All right,
he was
look.
saying something to you.
You can record all this area now. I don't care because the sign is clearly here, and I don't agree with the. I wish there was more specific terms and limits and all that stuff. But like I said,
No, I don't think so, boss.
I don't know. I think it's debatable.
I think you gave me permission, so...
I gave you permission, but as
Yeah.
I see, there's a sign that says no trespass. I can
think
say,
you can
okay,
just give permission,
permission
and then
slip
rescind
is
it.
shredded and ripped up, and we can rescind
I don't
it.
think
Yeah.
that's how that works. I don't think
How
that's
does it
that
work
works.
on
You don't
private
just-
property within all?
But again, this isn't private property, sir. You're
Okay.
referencing this piece of land as if it's yours. You
This
paid
is
for
true.
it, and you owned it, and your name is on
This
it.
is
Is
true.
what you were trying to compare
This is public
it to.
property.
You were trying to reference my land as if this is your land, and
Yes.
it's not.
Yes. And who owns the state government?
Who owns the state government?
Mhm.
We, the people.
Correct.
Yeah.
I can't argue with that.
Thank you. Okay, so this is not your property.
Okay.
Now we've established that.
Okay.
Okay.
I just don't want you to get arrested if you go beyond.
I wouldn't, because you gave me permission.
No, I'm saying you can't go because now it's
But
clearly
you gave me
placarded,
permission.
and I've told you that.
You said the placard was already there, and you still gave me permission, sir.
It was there, however, It's brand new. I didn't know it was there.
It's
They
the
just
same
put
as
it up.
Maryland 216-8, Maryland Rule 216-8,
You
which
can trespass.
references.
Can you
no.
trespass on government property?
Yeah, if in the state of Maryland you can trespass on public property or government property if, and there has to be two factors, and it's an and or an or that goes into this.
Yes.
If you have no apparent legal or lawful business,
Correct.
or you are acting in a disorderly manner
Correct.
that disrupts the flow of business or
Correct.
hinders the process of business that day,
Correct.
and an authorized agent of the state asks you to leave. I would have to be violating one of the parts of Section 1 in order for you to enact Section 2. In Section 1,
So what you're saying is they're not mutually.
It's actually Section 2. So 2A breaks down into subsection 1 and subsection 2, and that references no legal or lawful business, apparent illegal, lawful business, and then a disorderly is subsection 2. So right there it says or. You have to be violating one of those two things. You either, so like even if I had legal or lawful business,
right,
and I was acting disorderly, I would not be allowed on the public property. I could be trespassed because even though I have business, it says or acting disorderly. But in order to trespass me, I would have to be violating one of those.
Right.
And Section B of Section 2, which is an authorized agent of the state has to ask you to leave the property. But you have to be violating part of Section 1. You have to have no authorized or no legal or lawful business, or be acting in a disruptive or disorderly manner that interferes with the flow of the normal business here.
So let's agree you're not being disorderly.
No, you're
or
not wrong. You have signs posted about vehicles.
Right. So like, hang on, wait, don't go to that point. Let's finish the first point.
Okay.
So you're not acting in a disorderly fashion, correct?
Yep.
So we can line that out.
Yep.
So what is the legal and lawful business that you're
gathering content for a story?
Okay. And what's your agency? What is your press agency?
I'm an independent journalist gathering content for a story.
Okay. And what is the press agency, if you don't mind me asking?
It's not. I'm an independent journalist. That's
okay.
If I like work for a company, I would say ABC or News 11 or.
And
whatever
unfortunately, what I guess the law doesn't tell us what is business and not business if you're doing story, but
yeah. So I'm an independent journalist
a...
gathering content for a story. The Supreme Court has ruled that that's legal and lawful business, as we in the First Amendment have the right to freedom of press.
Okay. Correct.
Having the right to freedom of press doesn't mean that you guys get to decide which agencies are allowed to take pictures or exercise that right of press. It wouldn't be the right. It would be a privilege, as they say. It's the same as you guys try to get into where they say, like, okay, you go to court and they say driving isn't a right, it's a privilege. And they're correct. Driving is not a right, it's a privilege. Mm-hmm. Doing commerce on the roadway, because you just said the Constitution and the Supreme Court is the highest law of the land. And Black's Law's Dictionary, which is what the Supreme Court follows, specifically defines driving and operating as doing commerce. So if someone is not making money on the roadway, they are not driving or operating. So they are right that driving is not a privilege, it is a right. Driving is a privilege, not a right. But traveling in your private property from point A to point B is a right on those federally funded roadways that cannot be infringed upon by anybody.
Okay, so
if you follow the same Black's Law's Dictionary, then you would know that we have the right to free press as well.
Correct.
You can't decide which agency gets to come out here.
So sometimes answer me the question of, you're driving on the roadway.
Yep.
Not for commerce, not for hire.
Okay, then you're not driving.
You're traveling on the roadway.
Yes, sir.
All right, so we're going to go the semantics game. What is the purpose of a driver's license at all?
The driver's license would be if you are doing commerce on the roadway. So if you are doing commerce and making money on the roadway, you need to pay your taxes, you need to pay your regulatory fees, and you need to have a proper driver's license because they need to know that you are qualified to make money on those roadways. It's the same as when you drive a bigger truck and you have to go get a DOT.
What percentage of the population in states, and let's say Maryland, for example, what percentage drives on the roadway that's acting in commerce?
I don't know.
Would you say that'd be the majority or
that
less
I can't say, sir. I don't know.
Well, what's your estimation?
I don't get into too much semantics.
You don't know?
It might be a lot less because a lot of folks don't know their rights and they don't know, when it comes down to it.
So traveling is a right that is given by whom?
It is a right that we are born with. It's not given by anybody. Yep, right. It's an alienable right.
It's a God-given right.
Yep.
If you believe in God, I believe in God, so I say God-given right.
I'm not very religious, but I'm very spiritual. So I believe in a higher power. I believe in the energy of the universe, and I believe that it provides exactly what I need, exactly when I need it. So
licenses are irrelevant things or no?
They are relevant if you are doing commerce. If you're making money, if you're an Uber driver, a delivery driver, a truck driver traveling from state to state, dropping off.
So you as John Q citizen traveling on the roadway, if you don't have a active, valid driver's license, you get stopped. Is that a lawful and legal thing?
So it's weird. In the state of Maryland, they may say it's unlawful, but when you appeal it to a federal level, like I said, the Black's Law's Dictionary, you would ultimately win that on a federal level, because I wouldn't be doing commerce. As long as I could prove that I was just traveling in my property, not someone else's property, you know, I don't know
if the feds will touch that, because
it gets very...
The problem is the feds don't want to get into state business.
Exactly. It gets very sticky.
So the original intent of a driver's license is to what? Say we have all these people out on the road, right? You don't need a license to drive.
Yeah.
Do you think that every Yahoo out here, I just say Yahoo, just anybody
that's able
to...
This will probably fix a disconnect. Hold on. I can probably fix a disconnect because I see where this is going.
Hang on, I want to give you this hypothesis.
If you are traveling, just because you don't need a driver's license doesn't mean you don't need some sort of an identification. So if you are traveling freely, you still need to have your passport.
Right, okay.
So if I were pulled over, hypothetically, and I were traveling and not doing commerce, I would present you my passport.
But did you need to identify yourself in the first place?
I would. So in the state of Maryland, I don't have to identify myself. Even right now, let's say you guys suspected me of committing a crime, you guys wouldn't even have the right to identify me. In the state of Maryland,
can if you committed a crime for an investigation.
In the state of Maryland, the only time you have a legal right to identify me is when I've been pulled over for a legal traffic stop. A legal traffic infraction is the only time.
Committed a crime,
Maryland's one of like 4 states that does it. We're not a stop and ID, and you can't just ask for it because we suspected of committing a crime. We have to be stopped in a legal traffic infraction. It's like one of 4 states. It gets real weird.
You have to write that down for me.
I got you. I like this, man. People get mad at me all the time for having conversations with cops.
I teach the Constitution, you know what I mean? The state and the U.S. Constitution.
I like to have the...
As a hobby, I do what you do as far as teaching the Constitution.
My man.
Because people need to know it and they don't know it. That's why I'm just having this back and forth with you, because it's fun, it's good.
I got you. You know what I mean?
All right. Well, let me get back to this issue.
I got you, brother.
I respectively ask, no trespassing beyond this point.
Okay.
You can remain to this point.
So you are rescinding the permission.
I am ripping up your permission slip.
Okay.
Because that's a brand new sign right there.
Dad!
Look at it. It's
Dad!
Brand new
No! I want to go to the trip!
But that's what... Hey, look. I'm here to be a steward of the state. There's reasons why we have it that way. Safety. The police, with the way things have been around, I'm not saying you're a bad guy or anything like that. It's just,
I know. I get the day and age thing.
You know the deal.
And this is something that I don't have enough research I've done myself to say, okay, because you guys don't have a fence, but you do have a sign, even though it says vehicles.
It'd be a great court
I don't
case.
know enough to go, okay, I'm going to do this and then da da da.
You don't know enough.
I don't know enough. Exactly. You know what I mean?
That bear, and you don't know what the outcome.
I'm a bear poker when I do my research and I know. You know what I mean?
You know. If you go and poke the bear or if you go and figure out and do your research and say, hey, there's not enough posted or signage here to say no trespassing, and because I'm a tax-paying citizen, you know, state property is owned by the citizens.
We should have
can't
access.
own property, you know, all that kind of stuff, and you can back it up. Hey, by all means, go ahead. I can't do anything about it. I can escort you around and hang out with you, and then we can find out how we need to get better postage or signage up and all that stuff.
Yeah, I'll do some research.
Is that fair enough?
Yes, sir. Absolutely. I appreciate you.
All right, I'm gonna go do some.
I appreciate you having a conversation, man. Like I said, people on my channel get mad at me for talking to cops and trying to build middle ground, but
no, because you need good, educated citizens out here because you don't need tyranny, and that's the whole point, and that's why I teach the stuff I teach.
But you also don't need citizens being uneducated either.
I don't want idiots either.
Yep.
I want people because you know it starts with the citizens knowing their stuff.
Yep.
You know what
We're
I mean?
all in this together, brother.
That's half the battle. So, like I said, I know you come out here recording. You got the freedom of press, free speech. Do what you need to do under Maryland Declaration of Rights and the U.S. Bill of Rights First Amendment. But you can stay here and record all day long.
Okay.
But don't go beyond that line because I see it. We're good to go.
Understand.
All right.
Cool.
I appreciate you.
No problem, brother. Appreciate it. Actually, have a nice conversation, man.
Be safe.
Thank
God
you.
bless you.
You too, brother. Take it easy. So yes, he's right. That is something I will have to do more research on. I don't want to just walk back there and get myself arrested without doing proper research, because there is a sign. It does only say something about vehicles. I was under the impression that it was no vehicles besides state vehicles beyond that point. He is saying it is persons and pedestrians. There was that separate pedestrian sign back behind that to the left, which kind of referenced no pedestrians walking through into that gated area, which is where the firehouse and the gas pumps for state vehicles is located at. So I don't know enough to say he's wrong. I don't know enough to say he's right either. I only know that I can go and do more research and educate myself properly so that I do know next time. He did give me permission. While he ultimately did revoke the permission, he did give it to me. So that's why I'm not going to be in any type of trouble for being back there originally, because I was given permission. But yeah, nice little walkway. He was cool. Again, I know you guys get mad at me for having conversations with the officers and not just telling them to go F themselves and not say a word or this or that, but that's not what it's about, man. I'm about finding middle ground. I'm about proving that these folks are also human beings and that they're all not bad people. The same way all citizens aren't criminals is the same way that all officers aren't assholes. They're not. So, while he might have ripped up my permission slip and I'm grumpy at him right now, he really wasn't too bad, you know what I mean? So, I'll do the research and I will hopefully be back. And if not, and I am wrong, and ultimately he is 100% correct, then I will make a little short reel stating that. I have no problem stating that other people are right if I am wrong and admitting that. So stay tuned for whether it be a he's right or a I'm right situation. Stay tuned for the outcome. Alrighty, squad. Till next time, be safe out there. Take it easy. Peace out.